Good afternoon. I would like to call the October 13th board meeting to order and ask that you join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And now would you please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now I will read our mission statement. The Waterloo schools will set the standard for urban education by ensuring that every student is given the comprehensive support and diverse experiences needed to graduate with a diploma and a plan. The next item on our agenda is information from individuals and delegations. This is an opportunity where those who wish to address the school board may do so. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Mrs. Arndorfer will hold up a yellow sign when you have 30 seconds remaining and a red card when your time has expired. At that time, I will ask you to conclude your public remarks. Please also keep your comments respectful and constructive. We're all here with the goal of trying to help our students. Please also avoid criticizing the job performance of specific employees of the school district. Personnel matters are confidential and must be handled through the proper channels and not in a public forum. Finally, we provide this as an opportunity for public comments, but it is generally not a back and forth discussion, especially of items not on the agenda. At times, we'll try to help with information before or after the meeting, but we must proceed with our board meeting agenda items. With that, I would like to invite anyone who wishes to address the board this evening to step forward and start by stating your name and address. Microphone there. And can you please make sure the green light is on the base, nope, on the base of the microphone.
It's on.
Yep.
All right, my name is Megan Ung, and my address is 3913 Hillside Drive, Cedar Falls, Iowa, 50613. All right, so I am here to talk about a request for considering regarding my contract release. So I just have a letter. I think I sent it to majority of the board as well. I just want to read what I have here. I have been a teacher for 15 years, and I have proudly served in the Waterloo Community School District for nearly 10 of those years. Although I left for a short period of time to explore other opportunities, I quickly realized that Waterloo and urban education in general is where my heart truly is. The support, resources, and diversity in the Waterloo District are unmatched, and I have always appreciated the openness and inclusivity of the community. When I learned that my family would be relocating to Esterville, Iowa, I was deeply saddened. My husband has worked tirelessly for many years and recently earned a well-deserved promotion that requires our family to move. While this move is not something I can control, I fully support him and his career advancement. He began his new role on September 17th, just 2 days after receiving the offer. Since that time, I have been balancing the responsibilities of being a single parent to our 3 young children, ages 7, 5, and 1. He just needed to say his piece too. While continuing to fulfill my duties as a special education teacher at Becker Elementary. I love my job deeply and take pride in my work, even on the most challenging days. On the very morning I found out about my husband's new job, I had just been bitten, pinched, and hit by one of my students. Despite the physical and emotional toll, I chose to stay and teach because I truly care about my students and the profession. This situation has brought to light an important concern I have regarding our district's contract release policy. As it currently stands, teachers who must break their contract may be required to pay between $500 to $5,000 and risk a mark on their license. However, the guidelines for determining the specific amount within that range are unclear. It seems unfair that a teacher who must relocate for reasons beyond her control receives the same penalty as one who chooses to quit abruptly. I am not asking to be exempt from all the financial responsibility, but I am asking for clarity and fairness. What specific circumstances determine whether a teacher pays $500, $3,000, or $5,000 penalty? This relocation is not by choice, but by necessity for my family's stability and well-being. I have dedicated many years to this district and to the students we serve. I hope that commitment will be reflected in the district's decision. Thank you for your time and consideration reviewing my situation.
Thank you, Mrs. Owens. Is there anyone? Is there anyone else that would like to address the board this evening? Going once? Seeing none others, we'll move on with our agenda. The next item on our agenda is a board celebration. The WCC Cybersecurity Student Summer Experiences. And I see we have Amy Meehy, Director of Career and Technical Education, and some WCC students. So I'll bring her to the podium so she can give us a little bit more information for this. And this is just for information only.
Yeah, good evening. A follow-up from board approval for experience this summer. So all four of these young men are going to share more about those experiences, but we have a blend of graduates and current students. All four went on the Florida trip to CyberCon, but some of them just experienced it this summer. So I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves, explain kind of about that experience. But I just do want to say thank you for the support from the board. You know, without these experiences, these real world experiences for students and our community partners that help support and make it happen, you know, students wouldn't be able to engage in such, you know, meaningful experiences that really truly give them a better insight to their futures. Who wants to start?
Hey, Latrell, congratulations on band contest this weekend, too.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself.
My name's Latrell Oliver, and I go to West High School. I'm a senior. So.
Summer experience.
It was fun. We went to Florida, and we went to the college, and we like did different activities and stuff there that taught us more about cybersecurity, and it really it made me realize that I wanted to do it like for real. Cause at first I wasn't too sure about it, but then Mr. Coolers was like, you should go anyways, just to find out to see if you even want to do it. Yeah, it was pretty cool and good learning experience.
Any classes that have helped you along the way?
To
Career
do
Center?
that.
Yeah.
For the trip, I only took one semester of Cyber 1. It was only my first semester, and that really helped me to be where I'm at right now.
Hello, my name is Jonah Brunko. I'm a first year at Hawkeye Community College. I took a Career Center class starting in the first semester of last year and then the last semester of this year. The trip to Florida helped me learn a lot about cybersecurity and different aspects of computer science. I believe it helped me make some more connections in the field by meeting some of the professors at USF. And I believe the entire experience kind of taught me to be a little bit more independent, and just being that far from home was a really awesome experience to have.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm David. I'm a security analyst at CB Companies. I started as an intern last year and had got a full-time position last year too. I went to the Waterloo Career Center. I was a graduate of 2022. I finished 2022, and then I went to also the Florida competition. And then all I can say is like I gained a lot of like real world like experience doing that, and it played a really big role in me getting a full-time position, because we had a lot of people competing, but they saw like with those activities that I do in the Waterloo Career Center that I was passionate, and that I learned a lot of real world skills, because the scenario we had over there were like real world. And then I can think the one we had was like we had to secure some nuclear or whatever plant and stuff like that. So it was a really competitive, and it was really fun, and it was, you know, like you work in the real world, and a lot of those skills transfer to me working right now. Like, you know, being in the classroom was good, but like, you know, those activities that we did outside really gave us like a perspective, or, you know, how the real world works, and how, you know, how to handle pressure. You know, my manager is on me, like, you gotta get this done. You know, I've been through that before. So stuff like that, and, you know, handling securities and security practices, stuff that I learned in those competitions, I still use it today and till right now. So yeah, that's what's.
So what's the main difference of your job now and your academic in this area?
Yeah, there's a lot of, even when I went to Hawkeye, also went to Hawkeye. So there's a lot of things that are different, because the real world and, you know, what you get at school, you know, there's some stuff, but like I said, the competitions really put that academic, the things you learn at school into perspective in the real world. Like we get like real life scenarios where you have to apply the skills you're learning at school. And something to realize that things you learn at school is not always like that. You know, things change in the real world. You gotta do your own research. You're learning that pretty young was something that helped me along the way, because I knew that I won't have to know everything, but I'll just have to be proactive, because technology changes every day. And then in the security world, you gotta be able to catch up and be, you know, be one step ahead of the bad guys. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Questions? Thank you.
My name is Adrian Gomez. I went to East High School, just graduated in 2024. I don't know exactly where to start, but yeah, I got a lot of opportunities through the Career Center. I was actually here maybe like 2 years ago over a trip to DC that was paid through here, and one of the best experiences I've had. Met a lot of smart people, and it was such a great time. Really grateful for the Career Center. They introduced me to the company I work for. I'm at BGM right now. I'm at an internship there with the help desk team. We do a lot of like fixing people's computers and phones and whatnot. It's great because I kind of get to choose my own hours. I'm also at Hawkeye Community College for cybersecurity and network administration and engineering. So it's a really great opportunity to be able to simultaneously learn actual computer stuff at work while learning kind of the textbook knowledge at school and putting it to use. So yeah, I'm just really grateful to have all those experiences through the Career Center. It's been great. Coolers, he's my guy. Always be able to slide for him anytime. So is there any questions or?
Could you tell us more about your internship? How many hours do you work, and how do you?
And your compensation, is it paid yet, or?
Yes, no, it was it was paid from the start. I had one with the Joe Foundation a few years ago. That one was paid through them, and it was while I was at the Career Center. I took like 2 blocks from the day and would just hammer down on an app I was making for them. Yeah, you do? Okay. That was a while ago, but and now through VGM it is compensated as well. It's part time now, while I'm in school. But during the summer they offer 40 hours a week, and so yeah, it's good. I get to make something while I'm in school and pay for my own things. So that's great. Yeah.
How did you initially get connected with the Career Center? What was that process like?
My sister went there, and she told me about it. I started in I think it was a CNC machining class, and I found out pretty quick that wasn't for me. So I was like, I'm gonna try computers. At that time, there's maybe like 9 people in my cybersecurity class. By the time I left, it was maxed out, 20 people, full classroom. It was great to see it grow during the 2 years I was there. So, great program.
Are you doing the last dollar scholarship cybersecurity? Were you able at Hawkeye?
All the years have been pretty much paid through the last dollar scholarship. So that's been really, really helpful as well.
That's awesome. So glad you're using it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I wish Mr. Coolers was here.
Yeah, me too. I was hoping to see him.
Just to, and I'm starting to be a little biased to the cybersecurity because every time they come back, they have these wonderful stories, and I can envision myself. And I'm not a technology guy at all. I barely can turn my computer on, but every time you guys come back, it's so intriguing, and it seems so exciting to, as David mentioned, just trying to be one step ahead of the bad guys. It's almost like a TV show, like I'm in the action.
Yeah.
It's amazing that that we have a program that gives students this opportunity to change the world. In little bitty Waterloo, I haven't heard, I'm sure it's all over the world, but I get to hear it so much, cybersecurity, in such a positive light. And every student that has participated in that program has some exciting moments or stories, or and I don't think it's just the trips, because before they're going on the trips, they're talking about the fun that they have and the excitement and how much they learn, and how as you two have interned and now are being employed or being compensated for what you've learned at the Career Center, but just how the importance and the benefits that you've received from classroom work to the experience of going out of the state to these different camps and clinics, learning and then putting it to use in real jobs. So I think for me, I think I can speak for the board, but I'll speak for myself. Just the excitement and knowing that this district is a part of something that, is sustained, that will help sustain the world going forward. So kudos to the cybersecurity program, the WCC, you, Amy, as well. And Kyle, you make sure you go back and tell him, I'm sure he's watching wherever he is, how proud we are of this program and the things that you guys are accomplishing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So we appreciate you coming back and giving us your experience and letting us know how important the cybersecurity program is, but also how beneficial it is in your journey as well.
Yeah.
I have one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, just one quick question.
Yeah.
For the traveling that you guys have done, how many of you was that like some of the first time you've traveled? Had you flown before?
Not in the country, no. So yeah, that was new for me. Yeah.
Those I know it's not just about that, but I'm 51. I've never flown. So like the fact that you're having these opportunities to start taking those big jumps, I do appreciate that is part of it too.
And it's for a purpose. It's it's giving you a jump start in something that you want to do, something that you're interested in. That's that diploma and a plan, and that jump start to that career. I'm amazed. I'm kind of jealous. I probably wouldn't have did it if I was in school. my mind wasn't there, but you know, I can envision just the excitement. It's almost like, you know, how you see the stock exchange and people moving around and just trying to get one step ahead of everybody. That's how I envision you guys once you go to these different competitions and the stuff that you're learning. It just seems so fast paced and exciting, if that makes sense. Good deal.
Adrian, do you have a sense of what the market is for cybersecurity skills, either through postings at Hawkeye or what's, are you, I know you're in an internship now and may end up with VGM or may not, but what's the market out there?
I think that it's just going to become more required because like small companies are going to start needing almost what is considered now like military grade cybersecurity, just because the attacks are developing so insanely quickly. And I like with the introduction of AI just can't replicate exactly what we can running network scans and all that. I think it's only going to go up, and I think this is just one of the most important career fields right now. So definitely getting students into that at a young age, and it's just going to be extremely beneficial for the entire state, entire world. And it's just sorry, I'm a little passionate about this, but yeah, it's only going to go up. That's for sure.
Thank you. So for all you students out there, you heard it here. Cybersecurity is hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get in there while you can.
And that's why it's on the last dollar scholar list of programs. So to everyone else listening, if you're looking to when you trying to figure out what you're going to do after you graduate, check out the last dollar scholar list at Hawkeye or the other community colleges, because there's some pretty amazing ones.
Absolutely.
You know, just to add on to this, it's pretty awesome how relevant this program is, and then how you can actually walk out into the real world, literally walk and find opportunity. And so I think that's something that, you know, looking at our career center, of being really taking some pride in the simple fact that we have a program is that relevant. Of course, you have to, you know, like David mentioned about, you know, playing a cat and mouse game. And I've seen a few of those cat and mouse games that David used to play with with cybersecurity. So it brings joy. I can't speak for the board, but it brings joy of how relevant, and concur in what Director Williams mentioned on the fact that it's you guys come back with stories that we want to hear more. We want to hear more, and so be proud. Be proud that you was part of something. We're proud that we was part of you.
Hey, have any of you looked into getting your security clearance at some point? You've seen like what the federal jobs can do, right? Have you seen? Yeah. So if you ever have the opportunity, I know that it's a big process, but if any of you make it to the FBI, you have to come back and talk to us.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Any other questions or?
No.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. That brings us to the next item on our agenda, item 7, which is a board celebration, and it is a $100,000 gift to the Waterloo Schools Foundation. The Waterloo Schools Foundation is a separate 501c3 nonprofit organization that aims to fund, inspire, and promote educational opportunities for all students, all the Waterloo schools. And we have Hannah Luce, who is the executive director of the Waterloo Schools Foundation, here to talk a little bit more about this gift to the Waterloo Schools Foundation.
Yeah, so thank you all for letting me come and celebrate with you for this six-figure estate gift. We're super excited to be able to have this, but I do want to piggyback off of our cybersecurity students. That our mission statement is to fund, promote, and inspire educational opportunities for all in the Waterloo schools, and that cybersecurity program is a pretty great opportunity that I feel like is getting a lot of attraction, and it's most of those dollars to support those student trips and academic conferences have come through private donations, as well as some stuff that Aaron Sale has been able to apply for as well. So I just wanted to highlight that since we are here talking about the Schools Foundation today, just to make sure we're continuing to bring awareness of the generosity of our community. So, but regarding our M. Leipert endowment, we are super honored and humbled that Mrs. Leipert chose the Waterloo Community School District to be beneficiary of her estate. And yes, we received $100,000, and that will be going towards an endowment to fund workshops and professional development for lower elementary level teachers. So it's our kind of first not first estate gift by any means, but first opportunity in the professional development space outside of Coaches Academy, which supports professional development for coaching staff in the district. So it's, continuing to make sure that we're pouring into the cups of our educators, because they pour out so much for those in classrooms, but we want to make sure as an education institution that we're encouraging that PD, as you all do with PD days and things like that. But from the foundation's lens, this is really great to be able to support those teachers as well. So we just wanted to make sure that we came and celebrated with you all today for this gift. So I don't know if people have any questions or anything for me, but we're just excited to be able to continue on Margaret's legacy as she taught for over 30 years in the Waterloo Community Schools.
Do staff know how to, so this is funding workshops and seminars for teachers in lower elementary levels. So how do those then funds, how are they going to be dispersed? Do they need to still apply for grants, or have you already found how it's going to be allocated?
So I feel like that's a conversation with our district leadership team for sure. Like I mentioned, our grants haven't supported professional development in the past. It's been more so for expanding on curriculum that teachers are teaching within their classroom. So how I always like to explain it with our monies is that we kind of have different pots of gold, and we have like a grant pot that is kind of for general innovative learning money, and that's why we have a competitive grant process. But we have other funds that are available that we can give to things directly within the district. So definitely leaning on our district leadership team to be able to see, since this is so new, to be able to see how we want to spend that, why balancing short-term needs with also long-term planning, as it will be, this is an endowment, so it has a 4% payout rate every year with our investment policy. So we don't want to, we have to respect that. So it's not, we don't have $100,000 to spend this school year, but wanting to make sure that we continue to obviously respect that investment policy our board has set, but also prioritize the needs of what the district has for those lower elementary school teachers. If that helps answer your question, Stacy. Yes.
So how does that work? Do you maintain the 100,000 principal and each year spend the extra, or do you spend 4% and whatever's earning is above and below that?
So we, if we are earning, then we will spend that 4%. So that $100,000 is put into our long-term investments right now. And so throughout, we meet as needed as a finance committee, but definitely working with our financial advisor, Abby Sears at FSB Premier, to make sure that we're allocating everything correctly with our policy. But essentially, it requires us to do a 4% payout of any endowments that we have if they are profitable within those investments and within the year.
So if you earn 5%, does that go out, extra 1% go on the principal, or do you disperse it at 5%?
It goes on the principal. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah, if I could just take a minute to just express gratitude to Marguerite Leibert's family. I had the honor when I first started teaching way back in the day at Grant in Cunningham. She stayed on as a long-term sub, and so I got to meet her when I was really young on my journey of teaching, and so just want to express gratitude to her family and the impact that this will have for many years to come. So thank you for bringing that forward, and thank you to her family.
Yes.
I think she was subbing when she was in her 80s.
Yeah. I was at the unveiling party on Wednesday, and there was a community member who had seen that we had posted and announced this, and she had come up to me and said, it was a previous educator in the district, Janet Locke, and she had said that she would pick up Margaret and drive her to different things for the district, and just had a lot of sentiment for Margaret. So it was really great to be able to hear stories and things like that. And I was even telling some individuals today that it's always so honoring and humbling when people choose to support, the district and the school's foundation with their legacy, because, our public schools are here, they're here to stay. And we want to make sure that we can continue to create those academic opportunities and enhancements for not only our students, but our staff as well. So it's very, like I said, humbling to be able to be the one responsible and our board responsible for carrying out the legacy of those who have come before to donate estate gifts that way. Mm-hmm.
So board, I just wanted to add to, typically we as a board, or you as a board, approve donations. Anything that goes through the foundation it's a separate entity, and through the MOU that we have with the foundation, the board does not specifically approve these donations. Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
if there were any questions about
We
that.
just say thank you, thank you,
We
thank
say
you.
thank you. Exactly.
Yeah. So on behalf of the board, we want to thank the estate of Marguerite Libbert for pouring back into the Waterloo schools and for everything that she did while she was here. Sounds like she made quite an impression on a few people. So just on behalf of the board, we want to thank the estate for thinking about Waterloo and pouring back into the students and families of this community.
Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, that brings us to the next item on our agenda, John Deere First Grants. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education accepts and acknowledges with gratitude the $24,218 in grant funding from John Deere in support of FIRST programs within the Waterloo schools. Thought I missed him for a second.
Easy peasy then.
Yeah. Well, we still have to vote, but thank you for coming to give us a little bit more information about this.
Yep. So just over $24,000. That's actually in 35 smaller grants. So every year, all our first teams apply for the John Deere First Grant. We're lucky that we remain a priority for John Deere as far as those grants go. They continue to grow and support us as we grow. 5 years ago, there were 8 teams. This year, we have 35 that have so far filled out that grant and then all received it. But that funding ensures that we can pay for the team registration for the season and purchase the kit that is needed for the season. The theme, it's a new theme every year, but it's incredibly helpful to get going and ensure that we can continue to grow and have access to as many students as we can. Currently, we are at 316 students participating in a first team. So,
the fact that this can break down the barriers.
Yes.
There's some schools that have been able to afford to do this for a long time. So we're very grateful to John Deere for
John Deere,
that playing field.
Yes, and support through the district. This is something that no student or parent or family has to pay anything to participate in this. That's not the case all over the state. We talk about setting the standard. We're setting the standard of nope, this is provided for you, and you get to do this, and there's no barriers in being able to do it. And we really work to make sure that if you are a student that wants to participate, you get to participate.
And for any people out there who work for John Deere, if you volunteer, you can pledge your volunteer money to the FIRST programs in Waterloo School. So,
Yep. And we do have a fair amount of our mentors are John Deere employees, and so they turn that right back around into those teams. You guys have seen the robotics team here and all the big stuff. That stuff's expensive. And so, yeah, just all the things, all the support that we get is very much appreciated.
So is this all extracurricular?
Yes.
do the littles still do it during the day? Do you still
Second,
have the,
third, and fourth still do it during the day.
Okay.
Yep. And so last year, I was here at the beginning of the year, John Deere had provided a donation that replaced our second grade kits. But yep, second, third, and fourth, all in the classroom do this. And then fourth through 12th can be on an after school team that fits under that first umbrella.
And I love to hear that one of the biggest things is removing the barriers.
Mm-hmm.
This helps remove the barriers for students to participate. A lot of times that students want to be involved. They want, to, and this is, these first programs there are certain students that this is their lane. It's not athletics, it's not music, it's, hands-on and working with the team. So just being able to have those opportunities for those students and there not be barriers. So that I'm a big advocate of removing all barriers whenever possible. So we're definitely appreciative of John Deere and their support of our first student programs. Yes.
So do you have a minimum and a maximum for teams? You're averaging about 8.
Yep. So there are maximum for a challenge team. So that's what our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders are on is 10. So there have to at least be 2 on a team. 10 is the max. Some of them are right at 10. It kind of depends. We have at least 1 team at every elementary and middle school. So all schools have one. Years ago, there might be like 3 at one and none at another. So we've really worked to make sure that there's at least 1 team there. Goal is always, if you want to be on a team, you get to be on a team. And so that's why it's been so helpful to be able to continue to add coaches and be able to financially support teams, compensate coaches for their time in doing that. So, yep.
This is like an hour or 2 hours?
It's usually about 2 hours. Yep.
2 hours several times a week, Lyle?
So some do like once a week and they'll do 2 hours. Some split it up over a couple days. And that's just the challenge one. So FTC and FRC, when it gets to middle school and high school, they're multiple times a week. You can go up to the trailer at East High that the robotics team is in probably about any night. And they're going to be up there till late, plugging away, working on stuff. And yep. Some of those other teams then get upwards to like 15 members.
And there's no limit for the robotics then?
No. Yep. So that one's got like about 25. And then the high school has 2 FTC teams that they split into. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you finding coaches pretty well for all your teams?
Yeah. There's a lot. This year we have more outside of not current employees in Waterloo that have applied. We made the wonderful promo video with Kelsey Hammer Parks Productions last year, and that has helped a lot because that went out to the community and people started seeing that or saw some of the coaches that we had on that. Like Cedric Whitlock was one of the coaches that talked on it, and I was getting emails like, hey, I saw Cedric on this, like I can do this. And so that has helped greatly too.
Good.
But yeah. Yep.
So outside of your promotional videos, how are you getting young people involved with this, like in the elementary?
Yep. So once we've got coaches figured out, they start reaching out to the 4th and 5th graders. If there's only 1 team at a building, they might just start with the 5th graders to see, but it's sent out to all. And then the coaches are responsible for reaching out to families, to students. I was just talking to one coach at a building that said, we've still got some openings. So we set up on talking points. It's a middle school. all the kids that were fifth graders on a team last year that are now at that school, so that they can reach out to all those families and say, hey, we saw you did this before. You're not on this team now. We've still got, like, let's join us. So, yeah. Yep.
Any more questions, comments?
Thank you so much.
Yep, and thank you for all you do as well.
Yep.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, John Deere. Yes.
Again and again.
For real. Yes.
All those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to item 9, our consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of 7 items. Item 1, approval of minutes of the September 22nd, 2025 regular board meeting. Item 2, personnel appointments and adjustments. Item 3, bills due and payable and bills paid between board meetings. Item 4, leader in me agreement. Item 5, classroom space availability for open enrollment purposes. Item 6, delegate assembly representative. And item 7, open enrollment. Are there any items that board members want to see removed?
Sorry, Sam.
You said, I'm gonna go item 4. I just have one question. So, is that it for board members? All right, this ought to go well. You got it? Going once. You sure? I'll wait for you if you need me to. Go to the front. Go to the front. Go to the front cover. It's seasoned.
Oh, 4. No, not 9. I'm sorry. Is that what it is? The classroom space availability.
5.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It is. Okay. Didn't have my glasses on.
All right. Okay. That was worth the wait. With that said, can I get approved? Can I get items 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7?
Off. 2.
No, I didn't say 2.
You did 2?
No, I had to apologize that I didn't take it off.
Okay.
Can I get items 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 on the table?
Second, Ewing.
So all those in favor of approving items 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. That brings us to item 4. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve the continuing MOU with Leader in Me at a total cost of $60,100 for the 2025-2026 school year. So I believe I've asked this question before. And I see we have quite a few Leader in Me schools. What is the criteria, or what stops us from having all our schools be Leader in Me schools?
To be honest, some of these schools that are listed have been on the journey off and on, right, and have been for a very long time. We have some buildings currently in the midst of trying to launch Leader in Me, and that's based on some of the other initiatives that they may have going on. So, for instance, I believe Carver's not on this list, and I believe they're in the journey of just the Leader in Me process and implementation. So a lot of times they're also a targeted school right now. They're working with the state with some of the other academic issue, like things that they're addressing. So if Leader in Me is going to be fully implemented within the building, the leadership team and all members of the team go through the training and they start with themselves. So it's a matter of designating the time to truly invest in what the purpose is for all students. I would tell you there's a strong desire for a lot of the buildings to be a part of this. It's finding the professional development time also to engage in the training with Melissa and Shantavia on board. So I would say more to come. But truly designating the time to what it deserves in order to implement at a high level. Do you have anything you want to add?
Between the buildings that do follow Leader in Me and those that don't, do you see different outcomes, or like, is there? I don't know what criteria you'd see. You know what I mean? What kind of data?
That's kind of why I asked the question. Just what are the differences that you see from a Leader in Me school that not a Leader in Me school?
Yeah, I would say, the Leader in Me philosophy starts with the adults, right? It starts with the staff and really developing their own leadership and who they are as leaders to then in turn develop leaders within their classroom. So I think one of the biggest things that you will see in some of those buildings that are fully in with Leader in Me are like the student level jobs, like the student jobs that they have with leadership. They have a lot of opportunities to do that. And then sometimes the outside pieces. And not that our other buildings that aren't in Leader in Me don't have leadership opportunities. It's just when you're walking in the Leader in Me lane, there's requirements ensuring to make sure that that's happening and that that's part of your day. And so they designate time towards that. So I would say that would be one of your biggest differences that you would see is what it comes from that student leadership group and the roles that they play within the building.
So like when my kids' building first got it in elementary school, they started to do student-led conferences. Was that part of this, right? Okay.
Stacey, you're asking good questions. When I came in, I remember one of the first couple months meeting with Shantavia, or I think it was Shantavia. It might have been Melissa too, but it's like, do you force it on a staff or do you kind of let them come to the realization they want it? And so I'm noticing that 9 of our 11 elementaries have it and 2 don't. And like Amy said, some are at different parts of the journey. I don't know where they're all at in terms of, is the 2 that I see are not on there, I believe are Cunningham and Highland. I'm not sure if they have, what the backstory is there. We are a big district of local control, meaning like, we're not going to force it. If a staff is not bought into something, and this is what I we inherited it. If a staff's not bought into it and we don't see, if there's some data that says you need to do something different, then we would say, okay, this is a building. I had a chance to look at some of the behavior data this morning, hot off the press. Referral data is where I look at, right? And I would say there's not a direct correlation between having Leader in Me and behavior referrals. Now, I love the program, don't get me wrong, but I would also argue that the buildings that don't have those programs, I'm not seeing their behavior data or their achievement data being drastically below the others, if that makes sense. So I guess my philosophy would be local control. Your staff has to be bought into this. We're not going to force it on you unless there's a low performance in that building. And we're not seeing it from those 2 buildings. And like Amy said, at the secondary level across the state, it's more of an elementary primary thing. So I guess you're saying, well, what about East and West? Huge systems to implement. You don't see a whole lot of high schools doing Leader in Me. There are some. So I guess that would be, if I'm a board member, I'd be wondering, what's the reason we're not seeing it at those 6 buildings, I guess it is. Those are some of the reasons why. That helps.
Does Leader in Me pair with PBIS initiatives then too? Do the 2 kind of work together or no? Or is this too big of a question?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
and Sheena's on, this agenda. This comes in her department as well, but there is a crosswalk that's been done. So just a visual of how PBAS works and then Leader in Me together. So that was done probably 6 or 7 years back, like a collaborative process, because the PBIS they're the nuggets, right? That's like, hey, I get a reward for doing this. Leader in Me is more the internal piece. So it's teaching our students to from internally be motivated. So that comes in the job duties and some of those pieces that the leadership opportunities. So that's the walk that they would that crossover between the two programs. But we needed to make sure that before we implemented Leader in Me, that PBIS did align with that. So that was work that was done prior to us. And I think one more thing I just want to say about the high schools is we also want to note that Expo Alternative, being a Lighthouse alternative high school, is very, very significant. And what they have done at Expo with that team and what they've done as far as with their Lighthouse team and their leadership it's just really gone in the right direction. So I want to make sure that we point that out from the high school level. It is possible, and with our alternative population. So a pride point for us.
Meeting those kids and going through, like having them take you through a tour of the Lighthouse team, it's pretty amazing. It is. And so that is a group of kids that I can see benefit a lot from it. But thank you. Could you send, you said you guys did to show how they pair.
The crosswalk? Yeah, I can make sure we get that to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
One other quick thing. I know in the Madlock household, see first to understand, then to be understood is one that we use all the time. Even to this day, I will throw that out. So like when I talk about your leaders in your schools, but how is it utilized? Like if, let's say might be a behavior situation, do we fall back on these leadership characteristics to remind a student that we are a Leader in Me school and what we expect of you as a leader? Like how does that work on a day-to-day?
Yeah, I would say that, in action to see that, especially in the elementaries, is an intervention opportunity. Like I would say, like going through those 7 steps and talking about, okay, did you seek first to understand? There's questions that go along with that. And you point out a really good point, just talking about the Matlock house. I'll have my daughter come home and talk to me about, hey, Mom, are you putting first things first? Am I a priority, or is your work a priority, right? So I think that's another powerful part about Leader in Me, is when your kids come home into your house and start to speak that language, they're starting to learn that as well. So there's a lot of powerful messages within Leader in Me, especially if our kids are truly walking it and walking it with our staff. But it does start with our staff and really buying into that process.
Did that good?
So if I was listening correctly, you mentioned about, different responsibilities with the Leader in Me. So are kids that are not part of the Leader in Me program, are they getting those same type of responsibilities? Because, Leader in Me may not be there, but Leader in Me, just this example right here. So what kind of responsibilities are we exposing our kids that are not in the Leader in Me?
Yeah, and I don't know how to shout this person out, but coming from Cunningham, we were one of the first, I say Liz Curley, brought Leader in Me here with Cora Turner, and I'm forever grateful for that. And we started on that journey as a Leader in Me school. I was a teacher at the time, and then leadership changes, right? So this is the key part. When leadership changed, there's new initiatives and there's things that, those leaders need to do. So I would go back to Cunningham right now, and right now, even though they're not a Leader in Me school, if you were to ask Miss Montgomery, Michaela, there are opportunities for children to lead within Cunningham. Astor could maybe speak to that too. So even though it might not be like a Leader in Me title, like, hey, you're our student Lighthouse leader today, there are job classroom duties that they do, student announcements, those types of things. But I would say you're right, John, to ensure that we are offering those opportunities everywhere. They're not forgotten, even if they're not a Leader in Me school. It just might look different because of the expectations that go along with the investment, obviously, in the professional development.
Great dialogue. Thank you. Are there any more questions, comments? So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. That brings us to the next item, item 5 on our consent agenda. Classroom space availability for open enrollment purposes. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education certifies that sufficient classroom space exists at all grade levels, but not necessarily all grade levels in every building, for open enrollment into the district for the 2026-2027 school year, and approves the continuation of policy 601.3.
Second.
And question?
Yeah, Amy, could you just explain what this means a little bit? I know we do it every year, but I looked at our policy. So does the policy has to be approved every year to continue as is, right? Is that correct?
Correct, but I'm also going to look to my veterans at the table. Not correct, because see, Pam just said
The
not
policy
correct.
itself does not have to be approved every year. It's
Okay.
just the board has to reaffirm what that policy is stating.
Okay.
Just to state that there is classroom space available in our buildings for open enrollment. So not necessarily every building is going to have if a fifth grade student wants to come in and go to XYZ school, there might not be space at that school, but there is space available in one of our elementary schools. So that's what the board is looking at for this.
Okay. So this is students coming in from outside of our district, right? And so at this point in the year, we've been able to go through and we know who is who and everything, right? So this is just a term, it's just saying we have room for them. Okay.
We have room. Join us.
Yeah.
We have room.
Yes. All right. Any more questions on that? All right. All those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye. Aye. Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. That ends our consent agenda items. The next item on our agenda is a big one. Yes. It is the Waterloo United High School name, colors, and mascot. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education formally approve the name, mascot, and school colors for its upcoming high school, Waterloo United High School, home of the Titans, proudly wearing black and Vegas gold.
So moved.
Second.
That was strong. And we have Emily Frederick, our Director of School and Community Relations, and a plethora of individuals, I'm sure, that would love to speak on this. I believe Emily has something for us. I don't know if you want to do it before.
I love the word plethora.
Plethora.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I pulled that from way back there.
Well, I think what I'd love to do, and I feel like you will all agree with me, is to play this remarkable video that was a very pivotal piece of last Wednesday's unveiling. So,
Can I say one thing real quick?
You may.
Is I want to apologize to our Gilbertville municipality for not having them listed in
we
the
are
video.
correcting that.
Okay.
That
Thank
is
you.
being corrected. Thank you. So what she's referring to is the script listed out all of our great communities that make up Waterloo Community School District. And one of the names of one of the very important towns was not stated in the video. So we got to see a proof of the video for the first time, I don't know, Jared, 12 hours before the event. So there was no time to change it at that point, but we were pretty heartbroken when we discovered that too. So thank you for saying something. Yeah, thank you, Stacy.
My family's Gilbertville, so I had to speak.
Right on. No, I appreciate you very much, very much. Big oversight for sure. So last Wednesday, as you know, we had a beautiful event highlighting all of the great wins of the Waterloo School District. Jared gave an outstanding presentation on all of the great positive momentum that we're experiencing and that our students are and our staff and teachers are working hard to push. So after that, we unveiled the new high school name, mascot, and school colors, and we did it using this video. So we're going to go ahead and play it now. I am pulling this up on YouTube, and so if you want to see it at home, instead of rewatching the board meeting, you can simply go to Waterloo Schools on YouTube and find the video that way.
On determination, on the strength of people who have never backed down. But for too long, the river has been more than water. It has been a line between us, a symbol that kept our communities apart. That story ends in 2028. The river will no longer divide us. Boundaries will no longer define us. Waterloo, Evansville, Oakwood, Raymond, coming together. One community, one school, one future. This is more than change. It is a movement, a moment to rise together and become something greater than we've ever been. This is our time. Together we rise. Together we are one. We are the Waterloo United Fight.
So I think what might be helpful is we listen to. Sorry about that. You may also watch a variety of other things on our school's YouTube page. I'm going to give you a real quick sort of high level overview of how we got to this place last Wednesday. So back in January, you as a school board said, it's very important that when we go through this process, we're not determining what this looks like as a board and even as a school district, but our community, our alumni, our students are making this decision. So we put out an all call for community volunteers who would like to serve on a mascot and school colors committee. That committee was pulled together in March for the first time. While we were pulling them together in February, we sent out a lot of surveys, requesting suggestions and recommendations from people, which was a lot of fun. We had over 700, I think, suggestions for mascots and school names and school colors. And during that time of receiving that information and building that community of volunteers, we sifted through that and developed themes that were rising to the top. So eventually we rose like 10 different themes to the top, 10 mascots, 10 color palettes. Actually, color palettes narrowed itself down pretty darn quickly. There was like 2 overarching directions that we could have gone. And we started workshopping those top results to different community groups. We held, I think, 3 or 4 town hall meetings to gather feedback and ideas. And then that community committee sat down together. And again, it wasn't their job to make the decision. It was their job to make sure that they're honoring all of the voices that they were listening to. So they took that information and provided a report to the school or to the high school task force committee. And Jesse and Lyle and Aster sit on that committee. And it was pretty awesome because what we were saying was, hey, this is what we're seeing from the community. However, the adults are kind of saying this. But we just started to do some work with students, and the students are saying this. And Aster said, and everybody said, the student voice is the voice that we need here. And so we took April and May to do small group sessions in school buildings. Principals got us groups of students. High school kids were a little less engaged because they're, it's not going to be a piece of them. But the middle school kids, we were so proud of them. They took the initiative and they provided great feedback. And ultimately what you saw revealed is truly the voice of the student. And I think if you were able to be there on Wednesday and saw how many middle school age students were legitimately standing on their chairs and cheering when we went from the black and the white to the color and the announcement, it was pretty remarkable to see that excitement. And we have students who volunteered that have the shirts, and Pam was over at Hoover and said, man, if a student had a shirt and walked in, it was a hot commodity. And so there's a lot of excitement out there about the brand itself and about wearing it with pride. Any questions about the process?
You want me to go first? Oh, everybody did good, huh? So I wouldn't, it's not necessarily about the process. I think the individuals and groups that came together did their due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
I think listening to the students, for me, was always first. Having the community have input in this process, to me, means a little bit more buy-in. when people feel like they're involved, you get a little bit more buy-in. I can say that I have been, contacted about, some concerns about what the logo and how do we come up with it? How did and just some questioning. But I think you hit it on the head, and I think throughout the process, and I did have a conversation with Ms. Graves this morning about it was known that the community was able to come in or say if they wanted to be a part of one of the committees or just the opportunity to be involved in the process. I will say this, and I'll try to keep it as PC as possible. No matter what, I've learned that no matter what you come up with, there's always going to be people, individuals and groups that may not agree. That's why you go through the process. You kind of take it out of one individual's hands or a group of individuals' hands and broadly open it up to everybody. As I mentioned, there has been some concerns. Some people have reached out to me, rightfully so, but in my opinion, I believe the right people were at the table, most importantly, the students. And I think the perception of what some people may believe is fair, but I think in this time, it's not relevant or valid, if that makes sense. So I think what we've gotten, what we received with the name, with the colors being uniquely put together in the state of Iowa for a high school. The mascot is pretty unique. I haven't heard of any Titans in the state of Iowa. Jesse, you might can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe one or two.
Denver and Chipotle, when they shared wrestling, were the Titans, but that was a collaborant, and then they split already anyway. It's no longer in use. So.
And they're the Panthers and the Cyclones. And then, and I know, and I want to tip my hat a little bit, but the unity, the united portion of the name was extremely important for me. Mm-hmm. For multiple reasons. One, as you mentioned, Stacy, thank you for, or Director Mills, thank you for mentioning Gilbertville, because I caught that as well. And it was, it wasn't intentionally done, but uniting the different cities, areas. Even like I seen somebody put a post about Orange Township High School back in the day. I think the word united or unity in itself brings people together. We talked about the bridge dividing us for so long. I just believe it was important to include that word in the overall name of the school. I think it means more than just a word to me. And I think I expressed that to Dr. Smith and Pam and Lyle. It means so much to me that we're going in the direction of unity and united as a community. So I understand that there's always going to be somebody that can look at whether it's a name, a logo, a mascot, and have some feeling toward it. But I do believe that we got it right. And I believe that this can be the start, or this will be the start of us coming together and supporting this one high school project, and bringing, some historic history together as one school and one community. So,
you know what? The only people that can get in our own way as adults when it comes to the importance of unity and working together are ourselves. So we all get to make a decision, right? On the kind of community and the kind of area that we want to be in, that we want to raise our children in, that we want to support, that we want to be proud of. So United, beautiful. And Aster, I will tell you, when we asked for names, of course, the number one name at first, very early on in February, was Waterloo High School, because people just, well, what else would you call it, Waterloo High School? The number two name, unsolicited, had the word United or Unity in it. And then when it was shopped to students, they emphatically were like, why would you call it Waterloo High School? The United meant something to them. And we have to remember that. The United means something to these students and these kids. And I'm so proud that our community is wrapping their arms around that and supporting it.
So my daughter graduated 2 years ago, my youngest, and I came home and we showed her everything, and she's like, and this is going to sound funny, but so she was in marching band, and she's like, it was always so cool to go somewhere and their school's name was something consolidated or something, just so that it wasn't just the school, like it meant something. And you know, she probably didn't know anyway, but United, she's like, it just sounds cool. So on top of just the meaning, it is unique. It's something that will have a presence. And it's been amazing to look at all the different places, like on social media, like places you wouldn't have expected that they're talking about it. Like this has been a huge step in the state. And I hope our athletic people are ready to start answering questions, because people are ready. They're, you know, they want to know. And the colors are just gorgeous. They just are.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it reached Sports Illustrated.
It did?
Yes. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yes, Sports Illustrated high school edition picked it up.
Yeah, so if somebody could share article, or I guess I could look it up myself.
We'll get it to you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a physical copy somewhere. We need something.
We were at.
How much are you willing to pay per print? What do you mean? Oh no, honey, I don't think they probably did a print copy of it. We could make one.
No, I was at Dubuque and Valley this weekend on the same day. You know, I had people ask me about it there, you know, out and about. So it's definitely get some far reach across the different ends of the state. So
nice.
And not just that, in the graphic design world, which I thought was really cool. There's a couple of sites that things I would have never thought of, and it popped up because I follow Waterloo schools, and it's graphic design places are like, this is really cool. So
I would ask that we continue to use Vegas gold, because it first came out as black and gold, and Iowa State fans weren't real happy.
Anything that I've ever published, I've been dutifully and extra careful to describe it as that. And quite frankly, if you really want to get technical, Vegas Gold is a generic name. It's this hex code that you need to focus in on. So I've been pondering renaming it to something different, like, I don't know what it might
Waterloo
be, but
Gold?
we can call it our own. Heck yes. Like Waterloo United Gold, or Waterloo, Gilbertville, Evansdale, you know what I mean? But we can tag it our own, but agreed with you, Lyle. It's not gold. It's Waterloo United Gold.
So the PAN number, is Vegas actually associated with the PAN color number?
So, no, Vegas Gold is a term that companies use to describe that dull kind of like earthy gold where it's more matte colored. But there's, you know, hundreds of different variations of Vegas Gold out there. So if like you go to Menards and you say, I want Vegas Gold paint, you know, Sherwin-Williams is going to be a little bit different than not Sherwin-Williams, right? So, but Vegas Gold in the industry, we know that as that matte gold, as that gold. Well, I call it has earthy tones to it, less bright and more matte and earthy. But yeah, you can get, if you want to get technical, you can get very specific about it.
when will we have like physical prototypes of like that marching band uniform, which I just made my heart flutter? Like, when will we be able to actually see these things in person, tangible?
Oh, I mean, we've got, I would say, I have no clue, but probably not for another year or so.
Okay.
We got till 2028. So some of that stuff I think is likely
you know, you have to work ahead on some of that, of course, but I think we've probably got some time to wait to see that. But we will be busting out some merchandise for sale in pretty quick order here, offering first and foremost to our employees, and then we'll figure out ways to be able to have the community and our alumni proudly purchase as well. Coming soon.
I just want to add one other thing. I keep hearing over and over how happy people are that the mascot wasn't a bird. Like that, you know, we decided to not have
We've heard that a lot.
yet another bird. So the Titan, it's cool. It's a good marriage.
And I think it's not just one logo. It's multiple.
There's a mascot, there's a word mark. Yeah, the WU, which is what you're referring to, you know, the WU. It's very collegiate. So the branding package that we've put together, and you can tell by looking at it, has a very collegiate feel.
I'm sitting here, like, it lists, one place lists over 100 shades of a color gold.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, take your...
Are there any more questions, comments? Must be a slam. Well, I won't say that. Right. So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. Thank you to all those that played a part in putting this together. So this is one of those things that we talk about as 100-year approval. So been around for a long period of time.
One thing we said we would do, a nice photo op, Emily, was going to be, and I asked the board and some of them, we can do it after if you want. I was going to do it now. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just take care of it now.
Let's give me about a 30-second recess so I can go out in the hallway and I don't want to flex my muscles in front of everybody.
Yeah, Josh got the hoodie.
Oh, I like that. I should
Yeah.
have that one too. Where's the hat at? That's cool. He can be a student. Yeah, just put his hat on.
Yeah, we got hoodies like that, t-shirts like this. 55.
Swing around and get one of those.
Where's your phone? Just need a case, buddy.
Those were great.
Got the shirt? Yes.
But with that gold standing out, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's finish.
All right.
Either way. Chair it in this way, just a little bit. I just want just a little bit. Yep, and then switch together a little bit. Yeah, yeah, and the same. Yeah. Smile. Yay.
Pam, are there any hoodies left? Just let me know. If they have to be big. Like I'd have to have like a 2X.
You can go to the bathroom. All right.
Is it the gold?
studies now.
Mm-hmm.
Following that up.
It's pretty good. I don't mind. I'll get a video together. It'd be fantastic. Be ready.
Almost. All right. Thank you all for your patience and allowing us to do that. This is a huge moment for us as a district and as a board. So now we're on to our next item, item 11, the 2026-2027 High School Program of Studies. the important stuff. So it's the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve the 2026-2027 High School Program of Studies course catalog.
So moved.
And we have our own Sharice Ortman, Secondary Curriculum and Advanced Programs Coordinator, and Josh Payton, Director of Secondary Education.
And Director Amy Meehee.
Oh, and Director Amy Meehee. Y'all were covering her up.
Yeah, the whole crew.
To give us a little bit more information on this program of studies.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Well, let's talk about the cool courses that will be in that awesome new high school. You ready? All right, here we go. So the background is every year we revise the high school program of studies. It's brought to the Board of Education for review and approval and reflects the transformative changes in the continuous improvement journey of our high school programming. It's used as a reference tool for scheduling students into appropriate courses and programs. Informs our students, parents, and community members about courses, curriculum, and policy. It also provides transitional information for students moving from middle to high school. You'll have a list of the noteworthy revisions based on adds, deletions, and any other changes. I'll open it up to any questions that you have. I did provide a hard copy. Pam sent it out last week. So if there were any questions you had, or to keep it concise, you can see the notable changes starting on the front page with Waterloo Career Center changes, adds, deletes, general high school adds, deletes, and then school location revisions. So if you have some questions, go ahead and open that up.
For stats, is it just gone forever? Or is it just gone from the Career Center?
Career Center.
So it's still available in
yes,
the high
yeah.
schools?
Yeah. So we look at those things too. Is it comparable to a course we already have? Our statistics course at the high school has really grown in popularity with the new staff teaching that this year.
Is it a concurrent or is it?
It is concurrent.
It's still concurrent.
Yep,
Okay.
it is. And we're also opening that up for the math teacher, Tom Lauris, to do more integrated math courses at the Career Center within those service areas. Mm-hmm.
So taking out the work-based stuff, what was the reason for, is it just because it's going to be taken out of the high schools and it's going to be located at, I know you've explained a lot of this, but so deleting some of these things, is it just because they're deleted from the high school location, or?
So the first three deleted that are career internships related courses, those were the co-op. We now have turned all those into work-based learning codes. Okay. So you can see I added the work-based learning internships template and the work-based learning student learner programs template to the original document. The ones that you're asking about that are work-based learning related, that's a special ed class that we no longer use, and we have another course that encompasses the coffee shop.
Okay.
So we didn't need both.
Okay. And is U.S. history being taken out because we don't have staff, or what's?
U.S. history since 1877 had already been removed because it was comparable. I had talked about to the board, I believe, maybe in the spring, that through senior year plus guidance, if we have that course, we're not to get supplemental weighting funding for a concurrent offering that has similar or the same content.
Right.
And U.S. history since is the one that is the same as our U.S. history courses. There's too much comparable content. We kept U.S. history too, but it didn't make a lot of sense to have the second half. We were getting low numbers. So instead we brought back APUSH, which is AP U.S. history, which has higher attendance, and 3, 4s, and 5s are transferable to the state schools.
Thank you.
And to Hawkeye, by the
Okay.
way.
So-
AP classes are transferable to
So we're
Hawkeye.
getting rid of the ACC concurrent for both US. One's gone now, right?
Correct.
And we're getting rid of the second one?
Correct. Low numbers, and it was the second half to the first part. So instead of core credit, it was elective credit at the state schools. So we brought back APUSH, AP US History.
So we used to offer world history concurrent.
No,
Yeah.
we used to have Western civilizations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. World,
Uh-huh.
world history.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Those we looked at, and they weren't as compatible with transferable gen ed.
See,
and
I always found there's one spot where they finish like some kind of cross cultural thing. One of them will meet.
one does. And we also, at the time, the staff that we had retired. So there had been some unique changes to the offerings, like you have to take 2 of the 3 to get certain credits at certain state schools. And the U.S. history was cleaner when we had that staff who could teach the Western civs retire. And so we brought in the U.S. history. And then at that time, we reviewed it and realized how comparable it was, removed that, and then just had the one. And it didn't really gain the traction. And AP US history has always had high numbers, so we brought it back.
What's interesting is if I'm not going to be a history major, but I need to have a history concurrent to meet a gen ed, having that option is nice because I can take that class, beat one of my gen eds, but not have to take an AP class and roll the dice whether or not I'll get the credit or not.
For the kids who are going to major in that, we find that sometimes with that full year, even having deeper understanding plus the potential for a credit might even give them deeper knowledge starting off at a 4-year university than a semester course that's a sure thing. So we've had it both ways. We also have IB World, and those credits transfer also to the state schools for general.
Right, but if I'm not going to be a major in that, and I just want to get the credit,
Yeah.
my only pathway is maybe to get lucky on an AP exam.
Yeah. And you're right, Jesse. We can look at that again in 2027, but we were offering some other changes to college courses. And so we didn't want to populate too many. We were going to bring back APUSH because it's been highly populated and it's a gen ed transfer.
It just seems like we have.
And it can co-seat with IB history.
It just seems like we have really reduced number of concurrents that are transferable to 4-year stuff out of the buildings. That's my only.
Except keep in mind AP and IB do too. And our numbers are high.
Only if you score high enough.
Well, our averages, in 2 weeks, you hold off 2 weeks, our AP scores are significantly higher. We have a 5-year trend that they're the highest they've ever been, and usually a 3, 4, or 5. So I'm going to show you how many credits we're actually acquiring through AP and
I
IB.
hope so, because like
But if
my
you're not a
kid,
good
she kinda
test taker,
struggled
but you
with-
can
yeah.
pass a class
Now-
and you can get a credit.
We can consider, but I
Yeah.
don't have a Western Civ person right now. With the U.S. history too, that one is just a second half, and we had low enrollment. We don't want to keep offering. We had to make a decision if we were going to push the heck out of that class to even offer it this year. We weren't even at that barely 12, that rule of 12
which
to
one?
cover
I'm sorry.
cost for the U.S. history too.
Okay.
And we've been trying to build that up for several years. And so we looked at all those things. We looked at if we were already going to cut it, and we went back to the history of the APUSH, and we've had significant number of kids in the APUSH, and it'd be the same teacher who teaches the IB World History, and he's spot on, so we could co-seat those, but we can revisit it. I didn't want to populate too many college courses because we have to give and take. We only have so many students, and we have some of them vying for the same courses.
Yeah, it just seems like for kids that are not in that AP pathway, we're missing a boat that they could be getting some college classes and get credit.
We have a lot of other ones too, Jesse. And remember, it's not just about getting the credit, it's also getting some depth too. And those kids are starting. So keep in mind, yes, we have kids that are getting credits, but we also have kids who are starting with higher understanding and finishing sooner. So I think it's kind of a myriad of all of it, and we can revisit a social studies down the road.
Just in general, I just feel like over the last several years, we just lost a lot of concurrent out of.
We still have 48 concurrent classes.
Yes, but a lot of
So, like, in the buildings-
a lot of them are 2-year degrees that won't transfer to 4-year school.
Well, I have the liberal arts ones. We have.
We still
I'll
have-
give you the rundown in
Yeah.
2 weeks. I think we have like 23 liberal arts concurrent courses.
We have like the biggies still. We still have fundamentals of oral communication, right?
Comp 1, Comp 2, statistics, fundamentals of oral communication to get the rhetoric, statistics. We also have the nutrition, which is a biology credit.
Oh,
We have
okay.
human anatomy and physiology, which is also a science credit. So we have quite a few. The criminology courses are social science credits that are general. I'll go through that in a couple weeks.
I just had one question. With the IB Psych, do we still have AP Psych then too, or
We do.
or is it just the same?
We do. So two things. No, yes, we're going to keep AP Psych.
Okay.
And the reason we added IB Psych, same teacher, she's phenomenal. And I
Right.
don't know if you ever see Kelly Knight.
She's
she
amazing.
averages 4 out of 5s and is above the state and the world average on AP scores. She's amazing.
That's the only AP credit my daughter got.
Oh my goodness. She's incredible. I mean, I'm going to do a quick mama brag, but my daughter's taking psych at Iowa. She contacted Kelly Knight to get some notes from her, and she was the only person in her class to get an A on her psych test. Yay, Waterloo. But anyway, what we're doing there is we're going to phase out IB Econ. It's one of the social sciences. You have to have 2 to remain authorized within that subject for kids to choose, so it's not a forced choice. And psychology is in such popularity right now. Kids going on for 4 year and more, and in that AP Psych, they get to conduct their own research. So it's a 2-year course. They conduct their research, and it can co-seat with IB and AP. So we
Perfect.
were looking at that option too.
I just had one other question under the revisions. So name change / description updates. D, E, and F. It said they're now general, not concurrent. Is there a reason, or like what changed there?
Open access.
Okay.
Open access numbers were low.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have been. So
Okay.
we really wanted to make that more open access. It's a beautiful class. They do an experience at the Early Childhood Center at Lowell. We just had not been able for many years get those numbers up, and part of it is starting a transcript. Not all those kids want to.
Right.
And we can still get some of those industry recognized certifications.
That's what I was gonna
without
ask.
it being concurrent.
I know a couple kids who
And Amy's
took
been
some of
working
these
on
and
that.
they immediately they just went to work
Yep.
in like daycare. So there are certs still available then.
Still,
too.
IRC is going to be in courses.
I should have figured, but yeah, thank you.
Any more questions, comments?
Jesse, do you want to teach Western Civ for me?
No, I was almost a history major.
Well,
Then I went to
I know.
engineering. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
European history is one of my favorite things.
We
Yeah, I guess the only thing, is not up for now, but just one of the things I just keep pushing for is more some type of pre-engineering at the buildings, not just intro to robotics or CNC, not manufacturing, like engineering design, which is different.
Yeah.
So we used to have Project Lead the Way. We don't have that anymore. We don't have something that's not Hawkeye based. Learn about engineering, because a lot of kids don't know what engineering is until they take the class in it. And we're talking about mechanical, electrical, chemical, those type of things, not just the manufacturing side, which is what or the Hawkeye stuff kind of focuses on. So not necessarily concurrent, but something that really introduces students to engineering. We got Ignite that talks about
Yeah.
other elements, but it doesn't really talk about the engineering based side of it. So,
Right.
and, we have a lot of kids that we're pushing down a very strong math science pathway, and having that way to apply that and understand how they can apply it is important. in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And that New Age industrial tech gives them a smattering to give them a jump start into some of those trades. But you're right, that one's unique and more specific.
Yeah.
So on the applied math with construction and electricians, are those embedded in the current sustainable construction and electrical career classes?
Are you talking about at the WCC?
Yes.
No, are those concurrent? Is that what you're asking?
Are those embedded in existing construction, sustainable construction and electrical career courses?
Oh, you mean the math? Yes. Are you talking about the new applied math with construction?
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. We're embedding the math. So construction one will have applied math embedded in it. So it'll be math specific to construction. Yes.
So there's a credit for sustainable construction has a credit now, right?
Sustainable construct. We've always had a construction credit, and then they'll get a math credit. They'll get an elective math credit in addition to.
In the same course.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
Yep. And we did that with Lyle. We also did that with construction one. So both, or construction one and electrician. Did you see we added that? So that's what I was talking about. Tom Lauris, who was teaching the statistics course, we're using his skill set to embed math electives into those career pathways. So in applied math or construction one, you'll get a math credit and a sustainable construction credit. And applied math for electricians, you'll get the electrical aspect of it, and then you'll get the math for electricians credit. Yes.
Good. That's right. It needs to be embedded.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's
Agreed.
part of it.
All right, we're good. So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, she- Josh did. They are. Okay. So that brings us to the next item on our agenda, item 12, board policy changes, first reading. And this is just for information only. The following policies have been reviewed by the district leadership team and the policy review committee and are being presented for first reading. Career education. Career education number 603.07. Program for talented and gifted students number 604.03. Instruction at a post-secondary educational institution 604.06. And online courses 604.10. And we have Julie Zorman that didn't go far.
Do you want to kind of explain, since it's new, I mean, I was in there when we did it, but
Sure.
604.06, the instruction at a post-secondary educational institution.
Let me see if I can find it. Is that the PSEO?
The what?
Post-secondary education institution, the classes at UNI?
Yes.
Yeah, hold on just a second. Which one is, I'm sorry, 604?
Yeah, 604.06.
604.06. These numbered better. Oh, basically just questions about PSEO. So PSEO we have 4 different kinds of college courses. Post-secondary enrollment option are at the University of Northern Iowa. So those are for students who are ready to be on UNI's campus by the time they're a senior typically, because they've already finished their graduation requirements. A lot of our kids that are taking college class or high school classes in middle school, they're ready to take those their senior year. And post-secondary enrollment options, those are based on courses that go beyond our scope of college offerings. So if we don't have a concurrent AP or IB, which we have 78 college classes, then these would be another list of courses. One that's really popular is Intro to Sociology, which again, my daughter took, and it's helping her get through her psychology degree faster. She'll finish in 3.5 years. So yes, these are courses, Calculus 2, that we wouldn't have otherwise. And again, these are a lot of the kids that are just ready to be on campus. And we want to give them that experience since it's in the backyard.
And you were talking about during the policy review that we do currently have a senior who has completely transitioned to
taking only classes at UNI.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Oh, the other student we have, just real quick, we have the first time ever a Bucksbaum Institute kid at the University of Iowa. She's 16. She was grade skip. She's a West High student, and she started her freshman year at Iowa. Is that ever cool? That's really cool. Really, really cool. So that's what that is. And those we pay $250, just so you know, flat fee. There is no supplemental weighting like the concurrent courses for the UNI classes.
For the students that are, you mentioned about ready for college, taking college courses and that kind of thing. What's the number of those students?
How many kids do we have
Yeah.
taking PSEO? I think this year I have 7, but it doesn't mean that they're only taking PSEO. I have one who's taking just classes through UNI. The other 6 are also taking classes at East or West High School. And it's a unique kid, right? They've kind of tapped out on all the ones that we have, especially if you've already taken calc by your junior year. That means you probably took geometry, maybe even in 8th grade, if not doubled up in 9th grade and took algebra 2 and geometry in 9th grade. So it's a unique kid. Yeah. But we have those kids, and that's why we offer those.
And it's just another continuum of our special education offerings.
Correct. Yeah.
On 42, page 42, career and technical, career education, 603.407. We've written into the education program for grades kindergarten through 12. What does that look like? And then it says teaching and learning department will assist licensed employees in finding a way to do that. Then it says the board in its review of the curriculum will review the means in which the career education is combined. So what's it look like? Who's responsible? And what's the deliverable that the board is gonna see?
So it looks like Director Amy Meehee stepped out, but she's the one that did look at these revisions. So these were the revisions that came from the Iowa School Board Policy Review. And what we had before, if you look at the back of it, was just really, it was a lot of almost like a handbook. So we really condensed it based on the language that's coming out of the Iowa School Board recommendations, IASB, yep. So that's really where it was condensed to. Now, I will tell you, that's why you have a new position. You have Director Amy Meehee, who is going to be doing quite a bit with building up those pathways at the elementary. I know she's working quite a bit on the middle school CTE courses to be more aligned to those programs at the high school. So that will be 3 to 5 year work in building that pathway for that alignment.
So I'm a 3rd grade teacher. What do I expect to be asked? What do I expect to be given?
I apologize, Lyle. I'm not the person for that. I'm secondary, but I can find out from Amy. Put your questions, and I can make sure that Director Meehee's able to answer some of those.
Because according to this, there's a deliverable.
Right.
The board in its review of the curriculum will review the means in which career education is combined with other instructional programs.
I would say the thing that I know this much about at the elementary is those Zello lessons. And the Zello lessons do integrate at the elementary, and they have Zello instruction that integrates into their core. How that's done, I'd have to find out more for you, Lyle.
Would there be a?
I'm expecting a lot more than that from this particular policy.
Yep.
Would there a little bit? Would there be kind of like a diagram flow, looking at from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade? How does that look?
Yeah, again, that would be Director Meehee's working on that, but we could find out. I know for pathways that I work with, we do that. You look at what are they taking in 6th grade that's going to help them be ready for the college classes in high school. So we do like an advanced pathway. And I know they are starting that one with those CTE classes at the middle school, and they're back mapping what those programs and service areas would be for how those would be aligned courses. How far back it goes to elementary, my guess is right now just through Zello. But again, that's something that
But
we'd
wouldn't
have
that be integrated with
Director Meehee
with
talk about.
secondary and primary? Wouldn't that be kind of integrated?
Yeah, like I said, the middle school CTE courses, they did a review this year to make sure that they aligned better. So one of the things that I know Director Meehe's working on is integrating in that AI. Now that we're going to be adding more AI to the programs out at the Career Center, they're going to add more AI into those courses, those CTE courses at the middle school.
Hey Pam, and when we take this back for second reading, who else should we bring in besides Amy Meehe? Who else can help us, do you think? Look, since we're looking at elementary as well.
Yeah,
Maybe Jen.
Amy
Jen.
would
be the
one.
the career and tech
all the way down
person.
to K.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But if you look at the crossed out verbiage at the bottom, that actually is being included in a regulation, which
Yeah.
does not come before the board. So I will send that to you tomorrow as well. That outlines a little bit more, I think, of what you're looking for, but you're looking for an expansion upon that as well.
Absolutely. This is, I mean, this might be IASB boilerplate, but I think for us, it's really, really important to not just do something, but to do something meaningful.
We can send it back to her team, Lyle. You don't have to approve this one. We can let Director Meehe know tomorrow that her team can look at this and come up with specifics, and maybe even to Jonathan's point, I think it's important to have a pathway progression chart.
Yeah.
And I would just say that some of that would be not necessarily included in the policy at large.
Correct.
So this would be what our policy states, but then there's going to be some supporting documentation that goes along with it.
Did we
which
not-
to your,
I'm sorry.
which would be some of those things, you know,
But
here's
there's a-
exactly.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and we can read.
I mean, there's a clear deliverable here,
Mhm.
so I wanna have that.
But I think the supporting document, along with that policy, I think the supporting document is actually the meat of everything.
So when we looked at this, we didn't have the reg pulled up, Pam, did we? Or because but it duplicated a lot of the reg, didn't it? Like
The whole
this whole
section,
list.
the Waterloo Community School District is committed, and then all of the bullet points are included in the regulation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But
Okay.
Lau, you should come to that policy review meeting. We can flesh it out a little bit if you want. You know what I mean? To help. I agree. It would be nice to have more input.
I do want to just add a little bit here. If we can recall, I believe it was 2 years ago, we did a science adoption in elementary. If you remember Ryan Christopher, when he was the coordinator of elementary curriculum, and we did a big adoption that Aaron Cell supports that also has career connections. And I know Aaron has worked with our elementary PLCs. Neil Drake has started that work last year. With that position going away, Jen also is a part of this in conjunction with Amy. So we can get additional information, the career connection. But I just wanted to make sure I noted that with the science curriculum, when we adopted that, Ryan did a lot of work with that career connection, more so than the Zello, because the Zello was more of a hit and miss, and we did some adaptations to that. So just wanted to make sure I noted that.
Take that one back.
And when we do that, let's like look at how Zello, Amy, like how much maybe what we expect from it as well to piece it in. Do you know what I mean? Since you said it was like more hit and miss.
But
And pull them all together.
Zillow's a reference, isn't it? It isn't an everyday working document. I'm looking for an everyday working document.
Okay.
Good dialogue. No, good dialogue. Well, we have a first reading.
That's right. They don't all have to pass the first time.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Is there anything else?
So I would probably not expect this immediately.
No,
it's going to take some work for us to revise this and to look at some of the regulations that go along with it.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
All right. And that was just for information only. So sounds like we have some work to do on that. And some, yeah. Yeah. But good dialogue, though. So
Look behind you. Go on.
that ends our action items for the evening. And now on to the superintendent's report with Dr. Smith.
Just a couple quick updates here. I encourage the school board. We gave you all access to the dashboard. I encourage you to get in a habit of mind of popping in there whenever possible. I'm just going to show you the graphic. Take a look at our attendance. You can see where the You can see where the trend line is going. Now it's early. I always say that, but the fact that we're almost 2 months in, and that chronic absenteeism is down from 22.9% down to 15.9%. I will go the other way here so you can take a look. Take a look at that. I can send it to you guys too, or you can look. What's that? Oh, okay. Send a refresher. Yes, absolutely. And as it sits right now, today, our average daily attendance rate is 94.4%, up from 92.26% last year. So let's give ourselves a round of applause on that one. Even though Tavis is going to make fun of me for asking people to clap so much, right? I guess it's a good thing if you're asking people to clap so many times. So the second thing is actually new development is this morning we had a really good meeting, myself, Amy, Sam, Josh. I don't know if it was just the four of us, right? We are going to set up, Pam, this is new. Did we tell you this? Okay, January, we're going to set up a work session with you. You have asked, and are going to deliver. We want to meet with you in January to show you what a 3-year staffing and forecast looks like, as well as a personnel budget looks like. Lyle is he's smiling right there, right? So Mr. Peyton back there kind of gave us a little bit of a draft this morning. Looked really well done. We gave him some feedback. It's going to take him some time to pull some numbers with Sam, but they're going to come back to you in January and show you where we think the staffing is going to be for not just the high school, but not just the high schools, but all of our secondary buildings, as well as potential cost savings. So JT will be part of that as well. But we've heard you, that's been an ask of yours. And we finally said, okay, when would be the perfect time? And we feel like let's get past elections. Let's get past the holidays. And then January, we'll come back with, that information. So we're looking forward to that. Those are my 2 updates. I think that's it. There's lots to celebrate. Thank you for all of you. Just the community for showing up last Wednesday. It's such a cool event. I think those of us who were there will never forget that night. Just the excitement, the energy, the pride in the room was pretty cool. So thank you all for being there.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Smith. And now on to board comments. And tonight we will start with Director Ewing.
Congratulations to both high school bands for earning Division I ratings at contest this weekend. Congratulations to all those students and all those directors. We're very proud of you.
Thank you, Director Ewing. Director Mills.
So, Amy Schmidt and I were able to do our final 2 library visits the last couple weeks. And I think it was really good for both of us. We got to speak with our new regional librarians and some of their library assistants, and really just listen. And it was very good. And I'm hoping then that you and I can kind of swoop around too and keep developing that. So it's been good to get feedback and to hear what they think so far, their suggestions for how they see things going in the future. There was a SIAC meeting last week, or week before that. Anyway, so SIAC is really doing a great job in addressing these big key areas that that you just brought up now. One of them, Dr. Smith, with the attendance. So the SIAC committee is focused on identifying 3 key areas for improvement to bring to the board in the late spring. Does that sound right, Crystal? And then we, as a board, we really do owe it to ourselves to do a lot of continuing education. So there's been some webinars available. There was a Window in Waterloo webinar that Josh and Amy took part in for on cell phones. And it was very good. You guys were really good. It's all recorded, so you can watch it. I really got a lot out of it. And one of the things, what was the name of the book? The Anxious Generation. That there had been a book club done through, was it through Windows on Waterloo or? Okay. It may not be a bad idea for maybe the board to explore doing something like that together. The other one was an ISFIS webinar on the annual/organizational meetings, which was really informative. Our annual meeting was the one we just had, correct? When you went through the budget. That's not, no. Well, the organizational meeting and the annual meeting are separate though, right? Okay. Okay. So trying to learn it all. Anyway, it's just been good to be able to find other ways to keep myself educated on what's going on. And then finally, just thank you to everyone who went through all the work to make this happen. And I'm really proud of our community and the reactions that we've gotten from our community. This is good. It's really good. It feels good. It's fresh. It feels good.
Thank you, Director Mills. Director Knight.
I'll be kind of shorter tonight, but we are coming up on conferences. So families, if you haven't signed up, especially for secondary, high school, look out there, reach out to your teachers. You should be getting information there. And it's just a perfect opportunity to get into the school, see what's going on, but also kind of learn about what's going on for students and your teachers and the building. So.
Thank you, Director Knight. Director Cox.
Yes, I'd just like to, Dr. Smith Jarrett, you mentioned about the attendance, and I think that's something to definitely be proud of. That is part of our core values, and I think that's something to be applauded. I see it at the middle school level, better attendance and that kind of thing. And, once again, I'm just going to say, our support staff, our administrators, everyone that's part of this district is working. They've had, added things, and you know what? They're just stepping up. I had one of my track coach back from home, and we were talking, and I mentioned about, we're going consolidating the two schools and that kind of thing, and so I showed him the pictures and everything, and he mentioned that's something to be proud about, being part of something that is more than generational. And it was my track coach, so Mr. Medley, he that's my guy. And so when he said that, it just kind of put it in perspective of, regardless of what you're, if you're this or that, east or west, whatever, regardless, this is part of something transformational, and we need to be proud of it as a citizen of Waterloo, because this is about our kids. And that was kind of the theme he just kind of mentioned to me, and I just took that to heart. So I just want to mention it was a home run. I didn't know what the name was, or I didn't know anything. I didn't want to know anything, and I have to admit, when I was just standing up there, and it was a home run. It was a home run. So kudos to everyone that was associated with it. Kudos to the people that just, to the kids that was empowered to give their opinions and everything. So moving forward, let's keep on moving empowered as we move forward.
Thank you, Director Cox. Director Matlock.
Thank you. First off, I want to thank Dr. Smith for our last one-on-one when we had an opportunity to go over to Lou Henry. Very eye-opening experience for me. I want to thank the Lou Henry administrators, the lead teachers, the staff, the everyone over there that welcomed us with open arms, and it was real. Got there. Andy was trying to figure out how to, 7 people didn't show up that day, so they were trying to figure out how to cover. We were out on bus duty, and I'm sure everyone's like, why are they standing out there watching, the buses? But to see all the paraeducators come out, to greet the young people, those that had some needs, then they needed that assistance to, get off of the bus, and then walking in and out of the classrooms to see the teachers in action and to see the paraeducators right there, was amazing to me. I've been in the schools before, being on the board, but for some reason that right there did something to me. My students would say, Crystal, you're in your feelings. I was in my feelings that day. And I sat there and I wondered, what would we do without our support staff? What would we do without our paraeducators, our family support workers, our behavior interventionists, all those individuals? I'm not exactly sure we will be able to do our jobs without those individuals. So I applaud them 100%, because I'm not exactly sure that I would be able to do some of the things that I saw them do on that morning. So thank you for welcoming me. And Principal Hart, I'm coming your way. You keep asking me and I'm coming. We'll get a date here soon. I also want to thank Hannah Luce. We had an opportunity to have coffee. It might have been my weeks are all, I think it was last week. And she gave me an opportunity, give me the historical perspective of the Waterloo Schools Foundation. I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to continue that partnership. Thank you to the Liebert family. Mrs. Liebert was actually my teacher, my sister's teacher, and she's 7 years older than me. So she had my sister, me, and she was a sub for my niece that was born in the 90s. So, I mean, there's just, Miss Liebert was around a long time. And so I appreciate that family. And then to the Waterloo United, that was such an awesome evening. I was so excited to be a part of that. It just really put everything in perspective. And one of the things, and I really appreciate this layout of what everything meant. I really think this information needs to get out publicly if it's not already, of how they chose the name and the symbolism and everything else. I think that's important. But one of the things in this, one of the clear goals is to create a process that places students at the center of every decision. And I think that's really important, because me as a board member, I want to make sure that every decision I make, I am placing students at the front of that decision. So thank you for having me be a part of that opportunity. And as Director Cox says, it was a win. I was excited. I got to work the next morning, and even my coworkers were talking about the new name, and they were excited about it. So yeah, it's around and people are really talking about it. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you, Director Matlock. Director Schmidt.
Just a couple items. First of all those involved in Wednesday night, congratulations, great job. I know there was quite a few involved, at least name a number. Regarding a couple comments, Jonathan says I should be proud. And although there was a vague reference to this, the name Titans, to me, has some throwback meaning. I mean, there was a day in which Waterloo were the Titans of high school sports. In football, in wrestling. So this is kind of like a recognition of that to me, and also a challenge for the future. So that we were there once, we were Titans. And so that's kind of the spin that I have on it. And maybe it would be worthwhile to do a fairly detailed explanation of each of these, how they were chosen. We got some explanation, but to make it a little more official. Yeah, speaking of Marguerite, she used to sub when my wife was teaching that grant. She was a character. And thanks so much for her estate for the $100,000. And then real happy to hear that we're going to get this outline of the high school structure. So I don't know how detailed that's going to go into athletics, but if you extend athletics into fitness and wellness, and given the number of kids that are obese, I'm just wondering if part of that at some time needs to include emphasis on lifelong learning or lifelong sports, lifelong exercises that aren't just with it when you're young. Yeah, that's basically, and I noticed in the program of studies that we only require 1 semester of PE. So we might want to use that extra semester to specifically teach lifelong exercise, lifelong sports, lifelong wellness. So looks like there's probably an opportunity to do that. That's all.
Yep.
Just a couple things. A couple.
Wait. Thank you, Director Schmidt. Go ahead.
Just so the board's aware, in the press release that was sent out, and again, who reads press releases? In the Facebook post that was sent out, again, who reads Facebook posts? We need to do a better job. They laid out the rationale behind those things, but we will keep communicating that. Point taken. We will keep communicate, maybe even separate, just on just the Titans, and also my KWWL interview. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I referenced the being the Titans of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and how that should come. We need to embrace that, come back. It's a chat. So exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Talked about. So, but yes.
Thank you for clarification, Dr. Smith. Just a couple of things. Thank you again to the state of Marguerite Libbert. Sounds like I said earlier, she was an awesome woman. So thank you for pouring back into the Waterloo schools as you did when you served the students and families and community. Thank you to all the committees for the high school project, everybody that had a part in that event on Wednesday and prior to bringing everything together. It was wonderful. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't want to be overdressed, underdressed, but I think how it came together and how it was for everybody. It was for everybody. I mean, it was a lot of excitement in the air. Everybody was excited to see the unveiling, but they were also excited afterwards too. And you don't all the time get that. Leading up to it, you're excited, and then leaving from it, you're excited as well. So I do think we hit the mark when it comes to that. Thank you to John Deere as well for their generous donations. I had an opportunity last week to visit Pointer Elementary from an invitation, and I got a chance to interact with some kindergartners and some third graders. And anybody that knows me, I'm a, middle school. I mean, I love elementary students, but being able to interact with those students kind of gave me something that I was missing. Like I was having a rough week, and being able to talk to each and every one of those individual students, I was able to go during their lunch period, and it was like they knew me from ever. Like everybody had a conversation. Every single student had some type of conversation. Some of it was group conversation. They were telling me who they were, what they liked, what subjects, what food. I mean, we had a ball in the short amount of time I was there. And I left, and I'm like, man, that was all right. That was pretty good. They warmed me up a little bit, and got me to smile, and they were funny. Like I didn't know that young people were that funny during school. Like they were doing things that make me laugh. So I enjoyed it. Can't wait to get out to the rest of the school buildings. That's my goal. Again, I know when I first got on the board, I had an opportunity to visit every single school in our district, and I know life happens and we're busy. So I want to get back to seeing the different great things that are happening within our buildings and interacting with the students and faculty and staff. So I look forward to doing that in the future. I do want to read a couple of dates. So on October 27th, our next board meeting will be in this room at 5 p.m. October 28th is the start of our conferences, pre-K through 12th grade conferences. They're in school that day, so conferences start from 4 to 7:30 p.m. On October 30th, there is no school. On the 30th or the 31st, conferences will be on October 30th, pre-K to 12th grade, 12 to 8 p.m. Yeah. And then election day is on November 4th. I think that is all I have. I know I'm forgetting something, but I'll catch it next time. It must not be that important, but is there anything else that the board members want to?
Kids, be careful when you're out there trick-or-treating.
Oh, trick-or-treating,
Yes.
October 31st. So, yeah, be careful. That goes for students and adults. Be careful. But seeing nothing else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you.